taught us what we need to know. He gave us orders, like calling other people to goodness, standing up for justice, ordered us to do these things. You don't need permission from anybody to do the right thing. You don't need permission to do what's right. Just do it. Take initiative. Take action. You have one life to live. And I'm sure many of you are thinking, like, okay, we agree. Amen. Absolutely. We're with you. But what should we do? What can we do? I'll give you 15 things you can do. 15 things that, inshallah, you should do. We should do. 15 things that will have a real impact in the US and around the world. All the causes you care about, or whichever cause you care about, here are 50 things that you can and we should do, inshallah. Number one, the most important, is to never lose faith. They want you anxious and depressed. They want you sad and alone, broke, single, childless, lonely. Never lose hope. Never give up. Never lose faith. Don't give up your faith. Don't sell out your faith. You're going to sell your faith in Allah, the creator of the entire universe, one who controls everything. You're going to give up, shortchange, or sell out your faith. For what? A few clicks, a few subscribers, a few dollars, a few acres? Nah. The most important thing is for us to have hope. You can't take any action without hope. Never lose your faith. Number two, focus on your family. And you might not have expected that. Talking about change and social justice, truth, and causes, and power, and oppression. And many people, college campus is that safe haven maybe from their family. And I understand abuse is a real thing, sure. But college campus is, it's liberty and freedom and so on. And so a lot of people don't think about their family, stay in touch with their family and don't prioritize family, and are maybe thinking that they're too young to start thinking about their future family, the family that you choose. I put it number two for a reason. The rat race, the classes you take and the grades that you get, which are important. From K through 12, they fed you into college, and from college, they're going to feed you possibly, most likely, into a job, and then you work until you die, pretty much. Think about it, for most people. That rat race is over glamorized and overhyped. I'm not telling you not to have a career. I'm not saying that you have to travel the world and with just a backpack and make no money for 10 years and just advocate for causes or sacrifice anything. You don't have to do that. But your career is definitely not more important than your family. I promise you that. It's a controversial take. If I never get invited back to John Hopkins, I'll be sad, but I'll accept it because I love you all, even though you don't know me and I don't know most of you. But college is not too young. You're not too young. 18, 22, 23, master's student. You're not too young to start thinking about your future family. There might be 150 different majors at this university. There's 150 majors at mine. I went to a big state school in Texas. 150 different majors, and I don't think a single one of those classes, a single one of those professors is really encouraging you to start thinking about your family. It doesn't really fit the narrative and so on. But maybe some of you will think about it and maybe we can have a conversation around that. Number three, boycott brands and institutions that are complicit. If a brand, if a company makes their billions or millions of dollars by taking advantage of millions or billions of people, I'm not impressed. Are you impressed? Meta's worth what? Who could Google it? I don't know the number. What is Meta worth? I know that within 10 years of starting Facebook, it was worth more than Harvard, where he had dropped out of Harvard. It's a pretty cool story, and the movie was pretty good. But if you made billions of dollars because you took advantage of millions or billions of people, stole their data and so on, I'm not impressed. I really hope that some of my friends and future sons and daughters, and classmates and students and people that I mentor and so on, I hope that some of them will come out to be the future Zuckerbergs and Elon Musks and Jeff Bezos and so on. But show the world that there's another way to make a lot of money. Our faith is very, very, very for entrepreneurship and building your business and doing trade. It's how Islam came to all the countries that we're from, through trade. But making $1 billion should mean, and it can mean, that you uplifted 1 billion people. Think about it. Your employees, your customers, your clients. Your business, your products, your services, is supposed to be for the benefit of society. And then you make your money. Alhamdulillah. Give me an ayah hadith that says making money is wrong, but there's a certain cap how much money you can make or anything like that. There isn't. Give your zakat, no lying, no cheating, no stealing. There are rules. It doesn't say money is an evil thing, power is an evil thing. The colonizers taught us money is an evil thing, power is an evil thing, for obvious reasons. They wanted to alter themselves. Don't be fooled. Especially in the US where we have these opportunities. Build your brand. That is point number 4. When you boycott brands and businesses that we know they don't really care about us. Best case scenario, worst case scenario, some of them are directly tied to the injustices that we see. Boycotting them is like one part of that equation, and then you want to build your own businesses. I'm not saying you say, Abdullah, I believe in that, I get it, entrepreneurship and change, but I'm not a public speaker. I'm not going to be an entrepreneur and hire other people. I'm not really like a leadership. And I like to stay like I go to my college courses, but then I come back to the dorm and I'm like good at my studies, but I'm not really like super social. Starting a business, I have to deal with people. It's not for me. Public speaking like you do, mashallah, but not for me. You know, you said, and it's coming, right? Voting for this, elections and lobbying, not for me. It's fine. But you spend money, you choose which businesses and which brands you support. So it could be your friend that started a business, so you support him. You don't have to be the CEO. Again, overhyped. On Instagram, everyone has CEO in their bio. At least there was for a number of years. It was like 2% of Americans are employers and 98% are employees. It's natural. It's natural that Allah created it like that. It's probably more than any other country because there's relative freedom. Allah creates people differently. Like being a leader is not, in our faith, it's not like good in and of itself. It's not like objectively a good thing. Leaders can go to hellfire. It's about how you lead and about who you follow, if you're a follower. But being a leader and a follower, neither is positive or negative. Right? There's rules around both. It's more about where your heart is, about your sincerity, and people are different. But inshallah you'll find something in this list of 50 things, inshallah there's something for everybody. I just want to like overly kind of simplify and overly glamorize and overhype things that might not fit for you. There's something for everyone, inshallah. You're boycotting brands and you're trying to build your own brands to support other people's brands that are good. Number 5 is charities. And if you're in college and you don't have much money to donate, again, you share the link, you share the post, support someone else's charity, give them a platform, invite them to come speak. There's a lot of things you can do even if you don't have the money yourself. Number 6 is to lobby Congress. I'm 31, so like these last 30 years that I've grown up in the Muslim community, I've been involved in the Masajid, in volunteering and all that. I've obviously now, because of Gaza, I expected it and it's understood that we keep talking about APEC. In fact, it came up today at the table, which is understandable. But since I was a kid, I've constantly heard it, at least once a year, whenever like Gaza was being bombed or APEC this and APEC that. Our community love this. This group and that group, and they have an agenda, they have this and this government, that's and this one. We can't. In the last few years, it's like the LGBT, when I was younger, it was like, no, the Zionists. But it's endless. Well, you want everyone in the world to be like, we surrender, you're right, we're wrong. Like, how about those who are dropping bombs actively? They're just going to stop? Stop complaining about the fact that there's other groups and other institutions and other sects and other denominations and other religions and other governments. It's always been like that. It's always going to be like that. You have one life to live. You got, 10, 50, 70, 100 years on this. You're going to spend it complaining? 3 types of people. Those who are trying to build, those who are trying to destroy, inshallah that's not us. Those who just sit and watch, complain, point, comment, criticize it. You're not really doing, you don't have to have a PhD to criticize other people. It's not impressive, it's not really an accomplishment in itself. It's not that difficult, everyone can do it. If you have an opinion, everyone has an opinion. It's better to be maybe number 3 than number 2. You don't want to be someone who's actively destroying. Allah does not love that. But if you have one life to live, isn't it clear from these 3 which you should be? It's okay if you don't build the tallest tower, but if you spend your life trying to build something beautiful, you try. But if someone else comes and destroys it, would you rather be someone who spent your whole life trying to build something, someone else comes and destroys it, and then you die and you meet Allah, you say, I did my best, or would you rather be someone who's trying to destroy other people's, or you just sit there and just watch and just complain and criticize and talk bad about people and gossip and backbite, and it can be major sins. Think about it. Think about the mindset behind it. Think about the perspective, the psychology and the psyche of a Muslim. Which one makes more sense? So lobbying Congress. I think you would agree, many of us come from countries where there's no such thing as meeting your representatives. Alhamdulillah, I'm a nobody, but I've met about 50 or so politicians so far. Hopefully millions more, or thousands more, inshallah, in the US and around the world, but I'm working on it. It's personal, but I'm building up my own business. I need to be a little more financially independent, then I can do more of what I want to do, inshallah. That's my goal. I met about 50 politicians, mainly Houston, Austin. Houston, because I live there, the city is, it's large. And a lot of politicians. And then Austin is the capital of Texas. I've been there a number of times, and then DC. I've been to the DMV area about 7 times. I think it's the 2nd time to Baltimore, but usually to DC. Got a number of politicians. You might think like, okay, Abdullah, you took that, in US history. Like, we all know 3 branches of the government, you can speak to your representative, oh, very cool, but like, Abdullah, you don't believe this. Like, they're gonna really listen to us? First of all, a number of those politicians didn't just listen to us. Whenever we go there, they want to meet us, and they tell us about what they're working on. And a number of them are missing. A number of them are non-Muslim, and they agree with us on a lot of things. We disagree on some things. A lot of them are non-Muslim, and they don't want to talk to you. Or they'll listen to you and you know that they don't really care. There's a whole spectrum. They're human beings. To think that it doesn't matter? On the contrary, what we should do is every year, cities across the US, we should send our best, send those who are cut out for that, and those who are interested, and those who want to learn, should go to DC and go to your local governments. And meet those representatives because you can. And when you speak to them, hey, even if there's a 0.001% chance that you change their minds, there's only a few hundred congressmen and senators in the US. Someone can probably Google it and let me know. I don't know the exact number, but it's 100 senators and then it's what, 200 something congressmen? 300 something? So that's a few hundred people. And a lot of them, obviously there's also some of them are more senior, some of them are more experienced, some of them are more active, but a number of those, many of those, are more powerful than heads of states around the world. Yes or no? US politicians are more powerful than some heads of states. You get to sit with them in their office and talk to them and discuss them and give them your best pitch. And yes, other groups will come and give their pitch. So we should be losers and be like, oh, they're not going to listen, we're not going to try. Or you give your 110% and then you tell them, well, I did my best. So I decided, inshallah, I went a number of times to DC. And I decided I want to do this for the rest of my life. I got to make it sustainable. I got to work on my finances. I got to be independent. So I can speak independently, think independently, travel independently, move independently. I'm not saying you have to be like me. I have plenty of flaws and I'm far from being perfect, but we need to be more independent. We're 1% of America, but so we can be an independent 1%. We lead the whole country, lead the world. 2% are employers and 90% employees. What percent of America are the politicians or the leaders? So we definitely can't complain that we're too small in number. It's never been about numbers. We're 2 billion Muslims. It's never been about numbers. We're not too small here, we're not too big around the world. It's not about the numbers. It's never been about quantity, it's always been about quality. Be a person of quality, inshallah. May Allah make us so. Say Ameen.
Yeah, I mean.
Number 7, put forth our own politicians. If you've seen the movie Selma, which I recommend, about MLK, right? It was legal to vote. It was already federally, it was legal for the African American community to vote. They came out of Sunday church and they're wearing their suits and they're peaceful and it's family. There's elders, younger, moms, dad, and they're holding hands and they're singing and marching and so on. And they're going to go vote. It was already legal. They're wearing their suits and it's peaceful protesting. And they came down on them. Smoke, tear gas, etc., hitting them with batons. Some of them bled, some of them maybe even died, got injured, hospitalized. So don't tell me, which I keep hearing in Muslims, don't tell me, oh, voting doesn't matter. If voting didn't matter, then why would they be torturing or killing these people for voting? Voting does matter. You gotta research it, you gotta be knowledgeable. And ideally, we don't want to just constantly be voting for who's the lesser of two evils. Like, come on, we're not gonna do this we've been doing this for my lifetime, but we're gonna do this for the next 30 years? Please no. I'm gonna keep voting for the lesser of two evils or keep begging politicians to listen to them. It's America, every group, you should put forth your politicians. The DMV, someone can Google this as well, like 500,000 Muslims in the DMV. Is that close or am I far? I know it's small, I know it's not a small number. The DMV, how many Muslims in the DMV? Roughly, just give me a rough idea. So Houston, greater Houston is about 300,000, Dallas about 250. Michigan's gonna be bigger than that. It's one of the top areas. DMV, roughly, how many Muslims in the DMV? Someone should have some idea. Is it around 500, like 500,000 maybe? New York City's like about 1 million. 350,000? So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 politicians. I don't mean that they have to be like, senators. Yet, inshallah, one day, 100 senators. Talk about local politics. Yeah, we have a million excuses why we shouldn't take a few steps. A million excuses why we don't do 1, 2, 3. Think about it. Inshallah, we'll change that. Part of the colonized mindset. The inferiority complexes. We need to get rid of that. The victim mindset. This is not helpful. Are we not victims? Okay. But you can be a victim and not have the victim mindset. We are victims in many ways. We have one life to live, so you're going to complain about the fact that there are injustices? Of course there are injustices. They're not going to go away until we get rid of them. Put forth our own politicians. And what happens when you or your friend or someone from the NSA 10 years from now or someone in your message is running for something and people do give a hand and then they don't win he or her, they don't win the election. And we're like, see it doesn't work, they didn't try, they don't, it's this group, that group. No. Abraham Lincoln ran twice and lost both times and then became president. Bernie Sanders, which is not too far from here, right, Vermont? Bernie Sanders, I heard Sean King say this last night in Dallas. I met him and he was speaking at an event. He knows obviously far more than I do about this. He's been part of many campaigns. I've been a part of a few. He said Bernie Sanders maybe lost 6, 7, 8 campaigns. But he's also been senator for like how many years? He lost president twice. But he also won many campaigns. Does that make sense? One of the most known name politicians on the planet. So to think that if you lose a race, that means you're a loser or like you have to give up or you'll never win that. You gotta keep trying. You never give up. Number 8, post online. And I don't think I have to tell you, if you're in college, there's a good chance that people around the world know about Gaza because of a lot of US college, US Muslims on college campuses. I think you guys have done a good job, inshallah. May Allah bless you. We try. Let's say you're like, Abdullah, I don't know, my lifestyle, the way my friend group and like the major I have in school and also the university I go, like me being like an advocate and activist on social media and I protest. It's not me. I either can't or I shouldn't or I don't want to. Or my parents would share someone else's post. Create an anonymous account. Create a anonymous account. Create a faceless account. You can have a page. There are pages with hundreds of thousands on Instagram. Millions and millions of people have read this information. It could be about psychology, it could be about mental health, it could be about relationships, it could be about politics, activism. You've all seen these accounts, but you don't know who's behind it. Hopefully a team. I think a lot of them have, seems like they have teams because they do really good work. One person I'm impressed. But there's a lot of these. You can create an anonymous account. Sorry, a faceless account. It doesn't have to be about a face or a personality. If you feel like I'm not a personality or I don't want to be that person, how about my intention? There's no reason not to be like it's free. You can post on Instagram for free, you can post on Facebook for free, and Twitter and Twitch, and Rumble and Getter. TikTok and Triller, Reddit, it's free. You have your phones. Raise your hand if you don't have a phone here, you don't have a smartphone, you can't post on social media. I think we're good on the excuses, yeah? Do your best. If you're a medical student and you have no free time in the week so you don't post anything, but I need to become a doctor, inshallah, start a family, and with that income I'm going to do it, all right, that's fine. That's okay. It's not like all of us have to do all 15 of these things. But I think you would agree that everyone has maybe something on this list that they can do, inshallah. Ya Allah, may Allah make it easy. Say Ameen. Submit pieces to your school or local media. What's the name of the local, like the Johns Hopkins University's like newspaper or newsletter? What is it called? It's called newsletter. JSU newsletter. Like emails. These are like, okay. Any of you guys have ever written for it or submitted? Because you can't really choose. If you submit and they don't accept it, that's not on you. But anyone submitted anything for that? It's over a year of a genocide happening. Has anyone tried to submit anything? Are any of the Muslims or anyone that's, even if they're not Muslims, the Palestinian cause is a Palestinian cause, it's an Arab cause, it's a Muslim cause, and it's a humanitarian cause with no contradiction. So there's non-Muslims, of course, on campus. I'm sure they care. Anybody that's part of the group or the team that that does the newspaper or the newsletter that's been writing about Gaza, or any of the Muslims that are on the newspaper, that's something you can work on or try. Number 10, this is big. Talk to class, and this was primarily the reason, although I think you'd agree a lot of these things are relevant to college students. Like, you'll never have more free time. I know you hear this all the time. You'll never have more free time, and you'll never have this type of energy as you do in this phase of your life. But this one specifically, talking to your classmates, neighbors, co-workers, colleagues, professors, teachers, talking to your classmates about Gaza. Especially those who you're really close to. If you go through 4 years of undergrad, maybe like you also go to med school or a master's or your graduate school, there's 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, or even one student that was like in your dorm and you studied with him or her, or they're in a number of your classes because you're in the same major and you know them for years. You didn't say one thing about them besides weather, food, sports, and then the studies. Like, it's so easy. You really don't care. What's gonna happen? Like, the university's gonna kick you out because you told the classmate what you think about this stuff. How? It's not likely. Tell me, am I wrong? Is it likely? Not like when students talk amongst each other. What is like? What you know that what's far more likely, and what is an absolute possibility, and for some of you it scares you. Is that you lose a friend, or a class, or you. I mean, was he or she really a friend? But I mean, you lose a potential friend. And it's hard to make friends for some people. It's easy. Fine. You sacrifice that. You think a lot more reward you for sacrificing? No one likes to lose a friend. No one likes someone to look at you in a weird way. No one wants to be made fun of. No one wants to be kicked out of a group. No one wants to be kicked out of a university. I'm not telling you should want that. Of course we don't. But it's a small sacrifice. And I've never, personally, in my life, I've been around I never heard of someone being kicked out of the university. Like spray painting against like the wall here. That's one. But talking to your classmate about your views on that stuff, and you'd be surprised how many of these college kids, they heard it from you and someone they know and respect, and you present it well, that they're going to think about it. You literally changed the world. U.S. citizens are going to vote. That's a big deal. You actually directly impact what's going on around the world. Every single student, every single classmate, coworker, every single individual that you have a potential to change their mind, there's a potential impact you can make on the globe. Number 11, I think you already know this, but join protests. And I feel like a lot of people, this is my theory, a lot of people go to these protests, a lot of people that go to them don't really understand or maybe haven't really reflected much on like what's the purpose or why we're there. And if you're there to vent and you're upset and you're angry and you raise your voice, it's understandable. We're venting and mental health, I get it. But I humbly believe that there's a list of reasons, but the primary reason is to get mainstream media's attention to what's going on. Someone, average American, a town, small town, anywhere, is watching the news and they see that, oh, there's a protest on the side of the street in this part of your town, etc. Why is it? They go Google it, Palestine, they start reading it. Again, these are voters, potential voters, U.S. citizens. It's a big deal. We're trying to get mainstream media's attention by protesting. So just know when you're at the protest, there's a purpose behind it. Take it serious and try to get media's attention. And then try to speak with or try to put forth your best speakers. We need to build our own media companies, but in the meantime, when there's an opportunity to get mainstream media's attention, and one of the ways to do so is you have to protest. People in the city, people in the town, they want to know what's going on. And the bigger it is, the more likely to get their attention. See, that's why we go to protests. It's a reason. Number 12, find good mentors. It's a shortcut. I do this the Jum'ah yesterday. It was 10 rules of success. It's a talk I regularly give. Shortcut to success and shortcut to being impactful, shortcut really to anything in life is have a mentor or a coach or a trainer, teacher in the area they want to get better at. That's the shortcut. Alhamdulillah, what I did, I'm not saying I'm perfect and you should do just like me, but in high school, I wanted to get like A's in basically all my subjects. Right? I wanted to get an A in math. I would find the BC student, calculus BC, calculus AB. I was in AB, but calculus BC getting an A, I'd study with that kid. Spend time studying with them, make sure that I was kind of saw the way that they studied it. And I wanted to be on the basketball team. I wanted to be athletic, so I found like the 2, 3, 4, 5 people that they had no doubt. Like everyone knew that they were definitely going to make the cut. They were going to make the team. When tryouts is like everyone's trying out, but they're not really trying. You know what I'm saying? I try to watch them and try to learn. I wanted to get better at my push-ups and my fitness, so I saw like the most famous people on campus, most famous people at high school, and spent some time with them, learn from them when they're at PE and like some kids are messing around, some people are halfway, and these are really, I just do my push-ups next to that person. It's simple. I'm telling you simple things. And I'm using these as examples. You might not care about your math grades, and maybe you don't care about push-ups or basketball. Your Quran, it applies to everything. It's simple. Life is sometimes hard and not always easy, but it's pretty simple, not complicated, in the sense that repetition, practice, consistency is the name of the game. But finding a coach or a mentor, finding someone who's further along or successful what you want to get better at and spending time with them, your environment is everything. Be purposeful about who your friends are. I know some people go to college and their best friend after 4 years of college is a person that was in the dorm room next to them freshman year, and they didn't choose that person. It's like random and it's just easy. You have one life to live, and you got 4 years of college. You're really taking the dice and rolling it, and hopefully it's a good person, hopefully it's not a good person. Not a judgment on them, good or bad, but like, are they the best influence on you? Are they not the best influence? You're just gonna roll a dice on your life. You have one life. The person who sat next to you, and maybe you're a freshman, biology 101, whatever it is, sat next to you in that class, class of 300 or 200 or 100, they sit next to you, and then you just kind of fall, and they become your friend. Like, what if that's not the best? What if that person is like has the lowest grade in 100 kids, and the person that sat on the other side of the room you should like take some initiative. And maybe this doesn't apply to you all at John Hopkins. Maybe you all do take initiative. You care about who your friends are, and you study hard. The colleges that are on the back up, for the most part, a lot of people are very passive about these things. You're not too young, 18, 20, 22, to think about who your friends are, be purposeful about who you spend time with. You're not too young. Not too young. You know what's even more important, by the way, than your grades in undergrad? Because some of your experience is the most important thing. You're trying to get into med school, I get it. One of the very important things, I should say, in undergrad is also who you meet. The network. It's very important. I'm friends with a number of people that I met in undergrad. Some of them we do business together, we do projects together, we travel. When I go to different cities, I stay with them, they stay with me, etc., etc. Give each other advice and feedback on our videos and on social media and on speeches. It's very important. And they don't have to be from the same country as you. They can be from a different country. Maybe their parents came from a completely different part of the world. That's strength. The strength of diversity. It sounds weird to say it out loud. I know in America we're very sensitive about race and skin color. So even comedy shows where everyone knows it's funny, people still get offended about race. I get it. I mean, my experience was alhamdulillah, no one really like attack me or bash me or oppress me because of and also might not look like I'm from anywhere else. I get it. Other people have different experiences, but I'll just say it. It's not politically correct, I'll say it. I purposely try to make friends from people in different countries, from different parts of the world. I purposely want to see, like, I don't have as many Latino friends, I'd like to make some more, and go find someone. A lot of people might think that's weird to do, and a lot of people might think, well, you said this out loud, I get it. It sounds like, I do it on purpose. I benefited a lot. And when it comes to studying Islam, not that I'm a scholar or expert, I'm a basic student of knowledge, I purposely wanted to have teachers and scholars that obviously they know their stuff, and I see good character and good mannerisms and good credentials. I looked at that, and on top of that, I added an extra credential. I purposely wanted them to be African American and white and Latino and Arab and Indian and from Egypt and from. I did that on purpose. I benefited a lot. I really believe I benefited a lot. A college campus is like the most diverse aspect. Like in our society, American society, it doesn't get more diverse than a college campus. I humbly believe that you should purposely make friends from different parts of the world. You benefit a lot. You'll learn more about how your culture. I'm not here to bash parents, but the culture your parents came from, what you grew up in, or what things your parents taught you. Some of it wasn't maybe the best. It's okay. They're human. They tried their best. I'm not saying they're not good people. They were wrong about certain things, or there's a better way to do certain things. How would you know? And you'll find that there's ways in which your culture and how you grew up was actually really strong. And you find that, hey man, I can benefit people in other ways. Yeah, you're valuable. How would you know? Everybody, if you're from Pakistan and all your friends K through 12, and then in college, and then you work, and they're all from Pakistan. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're really missing out. We're not in Pakistan. We're not in Egypt. We're not in Palestine. We're in America. And a lot of there's a lot of Islamic content on like bashing America because society has a lot of. It's a sick society. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kind of like sugarcoat it. American society is sick, and some things are getting worse, and some things get better. Muslims are on the rise, so we can be hopeful. But it's a sick society in many ways. But there's also a lot of positives in the culture. Every culture has positives. I'm speaking to now. Some of you might think this is weird, but some of the very conservative aspects of our community that feel that like your culture is perfect and America is just an evil place. It's not a balanced view. Allah put you here. Allah chose. You probably didn't even choose to be here. Maybe you didn't. Allah chose the time period for sure. Nobody ever chose where they were born or when they were born. So if Allah chose you for this year to curse or to insult or to be very negative about the time period we're living in, although it's very stressful and very anxious. But Allah chose it. He knows what's best for us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He knows what's best for us. He chose us to be alive in 2024. 3 types of people. Those who are trying to build, those who are trying to destroy, those who are just sitting there commenting, complaining, whining, pointing out, insulting, gossiping. Which one do you want to be? But He chose the time and the place. He knows, and this is the best case for you. You're going to just like waste it. Allah protects us from that. Number 13, now, how am I on time? How much time left? It's time? Is that what you're saying?
No, you're good.
Can you give me an idea? I didn't look at the clock when I came up, so I'm not sure. That's perfect. Yeah. I forgot to look at what time I came up with. Number 13. Anyone can remember the first 12 points? I'll stop that. I'll go on tangents and stuff. Number 13. It was 15 areas of impact. Number 13. Pick up the mic. And I already said this. It's not for everybody. That's okay. But you also can't have 2 billion Muslims or 6 billion Muslims in America and everyone's silent. Think about it. The least you can do, right? You know the hadith? There's something you can actually do. There's like injustice. Someone's hurting someone. You're actually able to like separate them. You're able to do something with your hand. You're able to pick up the glass. You're able to do something. You have to. But you're not able to use your words. Nah, at least you hate it with your heart. You've seen something really bad, like you can't do nothing about it. But it's in that order. So Sean King was speaking about yesterday in Dallas. It's his favorite hadith. And I love this hadith and I love Sean King. For those who don't know, you can Google him, but he became Muslim in Ramadan. I've been making dua to be Muslim for the last like 6-7 years. When I first heard about him and saw his videos, he's not your average person, inshallah. May Allah bless him, protect him. He's doing a lot of good. But he was saying this is his favorite hadith. That we've like a lot of us have lost that. But let's focus on, let's see, a lot of things you can't do with your hands. Like you're not gonna solve the problem because with your hands in America. Let's use hands as an analogy, sending money, but let's look at speech. You want 2 billion Muslims all to stay quiet? Sit down, be quiet. We can't. Are you the king? Or are you the president? Are you the prince? So then you can't really do anything. It's that kind of mindset. Like, when you pick up a mic in our community, a lot of times we're like, well, what are your credentials? Yeah, but what am I saying? If I say that there's an injustice in Palestine, do I have to have a PhD? You know what I'm saying? If I tell people, guys, like prayer is important, you don't have to have a PhD in Islamic studies. There's no ayah or hadith that emphasizes this type of something we have in our community. It's part of our inferiority complex, part of our lack of confidence and conviction. It's a lack of following the sunnah. It's not from the sunnah to be like, hey, what are your credentials? It depends on what they're saying. Saying things you don't know, saying things that are not true. No, the hadiths are very strong. Lying about the Prophet or misquoting a hadith that is wrong, or if you purposely know. Google it. Language can be stronger. But it's saying things you don't know or saying things that are not true. If you're saying basic truths, but you're a 16-year-old or an 18-year-old or 20-year-old, and you definitely don't have a PhD. Like, our community needs to be better about that. They're wrong about this. With all due respect to some of our elders, they're wrong to say, you're young, be quiet. You haven't finished your degree, be quiet. What do you know about this? Be quiet. Are you in a position of whatever? They're basically also saying, you're not white, be quiet. Like what? You're not American? Yeah, we are American. We're not less American because I'm not blonde or blue-eyed. That's not only true if you believe it. If you believe it, yeah, then you're going to be a second-class citizen. You can easily be a second-class citizen in America. There's 350 million Americans, and millions of them are really competitive and trying to. If you decide that I'm going to live my life for whatever reason, my skin color, race, name, or my religion, God forbid, man, that's disgusting. I feel bad for you. If you believe that your sin keeps you a second class, it keeps you from being successful, if you believe that, you will be less successful. You'll be second class. You already believe that. If other people are trying their best and you're just like holding yourself back, how you gonna? You can't like, oops, I accidentally became the top of my class. You know anyone that became top of their class on accident? Oops, I accidentally made $1 million. Like, you know how hard it is to make it? You know how hard it is to build a business? And does anyone try to start a business or try to sell anything or try to? Who's ever had like a table with anything? I don't care if it's lemonade, cookie, and then like they just like didn't do it, and people just came by, bought all of it, and paid the money, and they didn't have to like sell and try. Like 10 people said no, 1 person said yes. You gotta put in effort. You have to start with the mindset, then the effort, then you get results. It's all about sense. So to think that like I'm not good enough, I can't, I shouldn't, I wouldn't, you're not gonna. Make sense? Pick up the mic, inshallah, at least some of us. And guess what? Everyone else, we're not gonna have a community of people that all pick up the mic, they all publicly speak, and we don't need that. But when some people do, you can support them, and give them constructive criticism. Maybe show them the video that they needed to see, or an article that backed up, or that, are you gonna like be supportive? You're gonna help them out if you can, or at least stay out of the way, or are you gonna like criticize, attack, and talk bad, and we do that. Maybe the DMV is less toxic, I don't know, but I've lived in cities in the Muslim community in America, unfortunately, that are quite toxic. They give you hell if you're trying to push things forward or come up with creative ideas. Inshallah, we won't do that. Well, our generation, like, what's our excuse? I'm almost done. Consider a non-traditional, number 14, consider a non-traditional career path. I already asked, I know the room is like pre-med and what else? Pre-med and? Engineering, yeah, same as mostly, if not all the universities I've been to. Consider, I say it, maybe one person might think about it, alhamdulillah, that's worth it for me. Consider journalism and media, consider pre-law and law school, consider studying deen, because we need therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists and Islamic scholars and youth directors, imams and chaplains. We need media personalities, we need lawyers that understand civil rights and human rights and understand our community. And all that is on the rise, inshallah. You're at that age. If you feel like my parents would never accept it, my parents have not fully accepted it. I'm 10 years older than you guys. But alhamdulillah, life goes on. If you want to talk about it, I know it's not that easy, but if this is something you're thinking about, we can talk, inshallah. I can try to help. Consider a non-traditional career path. And number 15, bare minimum. Don't let them change you. It's a beautiful story. I think you might have seen it. It was viral some years ago. There was a man who would protest like every day against the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. He'd go in front of, actually we're close to DC, right? He'd go at that corner, like the White House. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the intersection. It's like you're far from the actual White House. There's like green light, and then there's like a fence. He's there, and he would just go and he would flicker his like his lighter and protest. Sometimes there's other people, sometimes it's just him. And he did that for years in a row. It was like Friday or like once a week or so. He goes and he flickers. He's consistent, and the media would ask him. But one time it was like raining and pouring and dark and stuff. No one else showed up. He went there, he had his umbrella, and he flickered his light. And the security guard in front of the White House was like, "Hey man, like I see you all the time. I know you could be like, there's no one out here. No one's gonna see you. Like no one else is joining you and stuff. Like it's okay to not be here one day. Like you're like, bro, you're not gonna change anything. Like you just, it looks really." He said, "I'm not here to change them. I'm here so they don't change me." I like that. Don't let them change us. I love you. All of you, you're brilliant. You will do great things. And I'm here to help in any way I can, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Brother Abdullah, for your insights and your wisdom. We all can benefit off of at least something he said. And I hope every